One of the biggest mistakes in our line of work doesn't usually involve tools. It happens in the quote. Because the quote isn't just a number, it's a decision. A decision that affects your time, your margin, and how your job actually runs. Recently, I asked a question on an Arborist forum group. What was the biggest problems people encountered when they first went out on their own? And one of the things that came back again and again was quoting. It wasn't just the numbers, but the thinking behind it. And this is what my channel is mainly about. It's not about the climbing aspects of tree work, but the boring logistics around it. So something I've noticed with quoting is how easy it is to rely on memory. You look at the job, you walk around for a few minutes, think it through, and then later you try to remember everything. But when quoting becomes memory based, it also becomes inconsistent. And inconsistent is where margins disappear. That's where structure can really make a difference. Not because quoting needs to be complicated, but because structure keeps you thinking consistently. It might just be a checklist or even a simple digital template, something that makes you look at every job in the same way every time. It's actually something that I've been experimenting with recently, just building a very basic digital quoting template. It's nothing fancy, just something that helps structure the thinking while you're standing on the job. Because once the thinking is structured, the numbers usually become a lot clearer. Another thing that seems very important with quoting is the frame of mind that you're in. You might be tired, you might be rushed, you might have another job waiting, but quoting is really a planning moment. It's the point where the job starts forming in your head. Because you're not just looking at the tree, you're mentally running the job, how it starts, where the time might disappear, where the things might slow down. And the clearer the picture becomes, the easier it is to price the work properly. Another thing that seems very common is leaving the quote a few days. You see the job, you take a few photos, you write down a couple of notes, and then you come back to it a bit later. But the longer you leave it, the more details that fade. When you're standing on site, the job is clear, but a few days later, the picture becomes a little bit less sharp, and the quote ends up being written from photos and half-remembered notes. Quotes written from memory are rarely as strong as quotes written from observation. The more I think about quoting, the more it seems that the number itself is just the final step. What really matters is how clearly you understood the job when you first looked at it. Because good quoting isn't really about the numbers, it's about the clear thinking behind it.